Electronic Arts, Epic Megagames, Chaos Works, Firefight.
Hello again and welcome back to some retro gaming goodness. Today we are not talking about point-and-click adventures and not even about DOS games. This time around we only go back to the early Windows 95 days with the arcade action shooter Firefight by Epic Megagames, a game that in my opinion has been thoroughly overlooked and deserves more attention in the spotlight.
Shadow's here to help you with a shortcut to the processor.
Incoming missile. Beaming up successful.
Drop me off at the ridge so I can blow it away.
Firefight was released in July of 1996 and holds an interesting place in gaming history. It wasn't made in the US or Japan, but in Poland by a small studio called Chaos Works. These were the same developers behind Electro Buddy, released in the West as Electro Man, and that connection to Epic Megagames set the stage for this project. Here's where it gets a little unusual. Epic Megagames acted as the game's producer and distributed the shareware demo under their brand, the version a lot of players first encountered. But the actual retail box version you'd find in stores was published by Electronic Arts, who handled the CD-ROM release worldwide. So you see both names attached to the game, Epic on the shareware side, EA on the retail side. From the moment you boot it up, Firefight feels different. Instead of a side-scroller or a flight sim, you are dropped into a full 360-degree isometric battlefield. You control a hovercraft piloted by Jackson, an agent for the sinister Phantom Council, tasked with crushing rebellious colonies. It's an intense setup. You are not the hero saving the day, you are the hammer coming down on the resistance.
Search the area to confirm any resistance. You mean destroy. The council trusts you to do what must be done.
The gameplay is pure arcade adrenaline. There are 18 missions, though only 4 were included in the shareware version. Each mission isn't just shoot everything, objectives shift mid-level, you might have to plant bombs, rescue hostages, escort convoys or beam up cargo while enemy waves pour in. One of the coolest touches is the dynamic mission updates. You get radio transmissions mid-battle, changing your goals, a little bit like TIE Fighter did on the space sim side of things. And if you wonder why I sometimes don't lose any health when getting hit, let's just say this game is challenging beyond my old man's capabilities. Yeah, I had to turn on invulnerability for several missions, but I swear I used to be really good at this game as a kid. The gameplay is smooth, fast and addictively explosive. Sometimes the sheer amount of action on screen can be a bit overwhelming, and having palm trees that obscure enemy ships and even your own is getting really annoying. The controls take a bit of getting used to, and it's essential to learn how to strafe to dodge incoming projectiles. And a few missions also have confusing layouts where I found myself getting lost more than once. That being said, just blasting things to bits and watching them go boom is incredibly satisfying, and I recommend everyone to give the game a try.
Beaming up successful.
What really stood out in 1996 were the visuals. This wasn't a pixelated VGA shooter. Firefight was built entirely for Windows 95 using Microsoft's then new DirectX API. That meant high-resolution SVGA graphics, smooth scrolling and vibrant 3D rendered sprites. Rainstorms, lightning, explosions, it pushed 2D as far as it could go at the time. If you had a Pentium PC, the game sang. If you didn't, well, some reviewers back in the day warned that 486 owners might struggle to get it running at all. The soundtrack deserves a mention too. It came on the CD as a Redbook audio, so you could literally put the disc in a stereo and play it like a music album. The driving electronic tracks matched the on-screen chaos perfectly. game also had another trick up its sleeve: multiplayer. Up to 4 players could link up over LAN and blast each other to bits in dedicated deathmatch maps. There was even a second mode, a race to build your base before your opponent completed theirs. To encourage this, EA actually released a special multiplayer kit with 2 copies of the game in the retail CD, in one box, so you and a friend could jump right into network play. Unfortunately, I never got the chance to play the game in multiplayer, but it sounds like a ton of fun if you ask me. If you liked the video so far, why not help out with a like or subscribe to the channel to never miss more retro gaming videos in the future. Thank you! So with all this going for it, a polished engine, great graphics, tight gameplay, why is Firefight mostly forgotten today? The simple answer: poor timing and poor marketing. EA didn't give it a huge promotional push, and in 1996 the PC world was being shaken up by Quake and the rise of 3D accelerators. A high-end 2D isometric shooter just didn't get the oxygen it needed, even if critics loved it. The Adrenaline Vault named it the best arcade game of 1996, and magazines like Next Generation gave it glowing reviews, but within months it had quietly vanished from store shelves. For years there have been rumors of a Firefight 2, a planned sequel that would have taken the series into full 3D. Some fans even speculated that an early tech demo existed somewhere, but when I reached out to, I hopefully don't butcher the name here, Maciej Miasik, one of the original developers, he offered a different perspective.
I left the team just after the Firefight release, so I may not be aware of anything related to sequel plans. However, I don't recall any discussions about going 3D, as we did not know 3D technology back then. Maybe we thought about releasing the game on PSX, as this was discussed at some point, but it never came to fruition, as the game didn't sell well enough. The team kind of released 2 games using the same 2D engine, and never moved to 3D before giving up on game development. I think it's very unlikely that anything like a sequel demo existed.
That pretty much puts the 3D sequel story to rest. There were discussions of a PlayStation port, but no solid plans for a full sequel and certainly no demo. Instead of being the start of a franchise, Firefight ended up being both the peak and the swan song for Chaosworks. Today Firefight survives as a little-known cult classic. It never got a digital re-release, so the only way to play this is through old CDs or abandonware sites, often with fan patches or emulators to make it run on modern machines. It's a hidden gem in Epic's history right before they pivoted entirely to Unreal and left their shareware era behind. And with that, see ya!